This podcast was recorded on Ramangeri land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Welcome to Fleurieu Footy Podcast Episode 5. I'm your host, Steve Costello. On this program, we'll be looking at 10 years ago, the reserves results and how that shaped up. We'll interview coach of Wollonga's A-grade women's football side, association coach for the women's A-grade and also Southern District Zone champion, Wade Phillips will be with us. We'll check out the SA Country Championship results for men and women. We'll plug a local business and ask this week's question. So I hope you enjoy the program. Stay with us. Here are the results for the men's reserve grade after round 13 10 years ago. Encounter Bay hosted Gould Port Elliot. Gould Port Elliot were victorious 19 goals 3, 117 to Encounter Bay 6 goal 4, 40. Best players for Gould Port Elliot: T. Chesser, N. Whiterod, S. McAvaney, D. Silvestri, B. Ray, R. Coleshill. Best players for Encounter Bay: G. Knowles, J. Jenkins, J. Wright, J. Kirk, D. Whitehead and M. Ashton. Goal kickers for Gould Port Elliot: N. Whiterod 5, R. Coleshill 4, S. McAvaney 2, L. Hurst 2, D. Cuthbert 2, singles to J. Dawes, D. Hurst, D. Moffat and M. Doyle. And the goal kickers for Encounter Bay: G. Knowles 2, singles to J. Jenkins, M. Aston, J. Nankerville and J. Fuller. Langon Creek hosted McLaren. Final score saw Langon Creek 20 goal 7, 127, defeat McLaren 3 goal 5, 23. Best players for Langon Creek: T. Follett, S. Grosvenor, S. Bown, B. Farnham, B. McHughes and R. Lyon. And for McLaren: M. Stott, S. McCade, N. McMurtry, C. Hill, G. Mason and S. Narn. Goal kickers for Langon Creek: T. Follett with 10, S. Tonkin 3, B. King 2, C. Matner 2, singles to D. Zanker, R. Lyon and J. Abbott. And the goal kickers for McLaren: singles each to B. Hill, M. Edmonds and J. Mahan. Strathalbyn hosted Mount Compass in a tight tussle. Final score saw Strathalbyn 10 goal 3, 63, defeat Mount Compass 7 goals 12, 54. Best players for Strath: C. Ray, M. Barnes, M. Rogers, G. Beeching, E. Logan and B. Evans. Best players for Mount Compass: D. Nash, I. Self, S. Jensen, M. Chessel, D. Fitzpatrick and B. Hendy. Goal kickers for Strathalbyn: B. Weiss 3, D. Gardner 2, D. Springle 2, singles to M. Saunders, C. Higgins and M. Barnes. And the goal kickers for Mount Compass: B. Hendy 2, singles to J. Chard, C. Matthew, J. Hayes, J. Harris and J. Davis. Wollonga hosted Myponga Selix, and the final score saw Wollonga 19 goals 12, 126 to Myponga Selix 4 goal 1, 25. Best players for Wollonga: A. McDonald, C. Ballas, B. Hughesnick, A. Meagle, M. Hoppo and J. Pelling. For Myponga Selix, best players: B. Clark, H. Gabrielson, M. Piro, B. Vluggen, M. Siddle and T. Pratt. Goal kickers for Wollonga: E. Bull 4, A. Meagle 3, D. Anderson 3, J. Cross 2, M. Hoppo 2, singles each to B. Hughesnick, A. McDonald, C. Ross, M. Hoppo and C. Ballas. And the goal kickers for Myponga Selix: B. Clark 2, singles to M. Siddle and T. Humphreys. The last game of round 13 in the reserves 10 years ago saw Yankalilla host Victor Harbor, and Yankalilla won the game 18 goals 12, 120 to Victor Harbor 10 goal 161. Best players for Yankalilla: B. Goodwin, C. Grace, J. Marshall, M. Dedicott, D. Bormer and N. Bond. Best players for Victor Harbor: K. Sumner, D. White, B. Laurie, P. Kirkbride, M. Parker, A. Wheatra. Goal kickers for Yankalilla, Seagrace 3, R. Hunt 2, N. Bond 2. Singles to K. Hosking, B. Goodwood and M. Dedicoat. Goal kickers for Victor Harbour, C. Banks 4, J. Hewitt 3. Singles to J. Harrison, B. Laurie and P. Kirkbride. Looking at the men's reserve grade premiership ladder after round 13 10 years ago, got Wollonga on top, one loss, 24 points after 13 games. Then we've got 3 clubs on 18. So Langhorne Creek was second on percentage for McLaren in third, and Gould Port Elliot in fourth, all with 9 wins and 4 losses. Then we had Yankalilla making up the 5 with 14 points, 7 wins and 6 losses. And in 6th spot, Mount Compass with 12 points, 6 wins and 7 losses. You would have thought that they were probably the only 2 sides that could possibly push for the 5th spot. Then you've got Victor in 7th, Strathalbyn in 8th, Encounter Bay in 9th, and Maiponga Selix in 10th. A few familiar names in the B grade results. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Wade Phillips to Fleurieu Footy Podcast. Wade's the current coach of the Wollonga A-grade women's side. He's also the GSFL Women's Association A-grade coach and a successful coach at last weekend's SA Country Championships in Whyalla. Welcome along, Wade.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Good on you. I really appreciate you coming on. We'll go straight into it. Congratulations on the victory on the weekend, becoming SA Country champions at the Carnival in Whyalla.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great weekend. Girls really put in a great effort over the 3 games, and glad we could bring home the trophy for the Southern Districts.
Yeah, look, I watched the final and I thought that your small brigade of Madison Bennett, Courtney Gutschmidt, Amy Vitkunis and Kalani Bates were really good for 4 quarters.
Yeah, it's great to see them playing some good footy. They're all in really good form locally as well, so it was pretty easy to pick them in that squad. They all played pretty well in the association games as well. So, really helped us. We picked a short team. Short and fast, knowing that Whyalla Oval were quite a large oval. So, worked to our advantage, I think, picking speed and skill. That was our theme.
Well, Madison Bennett certainly cracks in and is not scared.
That's right, yes. I feel for her mother sometimes, the way she goes in. Maddie's an old family friend of ours, so
okay.
Pretty familiar with how she played. And you wouldn't think, being 5'2", that she just goes in and comes out with some bruises, but she wouldn't know any different. Played really well.
She was fantastic. I thought your 2 rucks were pretty important for you too, especially when Tess Huxtable went in probably at half time into the ruck and you pushed your captain, Rachel Searle, forward. Now, Rachel looked really dangerous forward, and I thought Tess was able to jump over the top of that ruckman and give you first use. Yeah,
it's something we definitely thought about, taking 2 rucks and being an advantage for us, leaving them on the ground. I know normally you try and rotate your rucks off the bench, but I thought if we could have either of them up forward, we could really stretch the defence, which proved to be the case with Rachel kicking a couple in that final on Sunday. So, yeah, Tess, really good young talent, still only 19, played a bit of league footy with South Adelaide. I'm sure she'll be up there again next year, pushing for number 1 ruck spot.
So there was a couple of other players that I was impressed with. One was down back, number 24, Lucy Earle. I thought her game on the Sunday was really solid.
Yeah, really good get by Goulwa this year to get her down there. So another girl with league experience at Glenelg. Really solid, particularly in that first game. We were under the pump with the wind. It was a 6-goal breeze that the other team was going with, and our defence really held up well in that first game. And she hurt herself in that second game, copped a knee to the ribs, and she was in a fair bit of distress. But got a good sleep in and backed up again on Sunday and played really well.
Yeah, she was solid. And the other one that I want to talk about is number 21, Cassie Coon, who kicked a couple of really important goals for you in the final.
Yeah, she's a real talent. She's coming back off an ACL injury last year. Played a little bit at Glenelg's in their leadership group down there, and really elite kick, both feet. I think she probably confused her opponents a little bit trying to work out what foot she kicked with. So really good talent. Gave us a lot of drive from that centre half forward position, leading up and back, and played really well on the Sunday.
Yeah, she was dangerous, and I think she was important in your victory. So congratulations once again, mate. But tell us a little bit about what got you into coaching women's footy.
So I suppose I've played senior footy obviously all my life, and I knew that getting towards the end of my career, that coaching is something that I wanted to do. I love teaching the side of the game that with the skills and fundamentals, and I did try my hand at Auskick. Did that for a couple of years and gave me a bit of a taste of coaching, and I loved that the fun element to it. And then while I was doing that, I was coaching assistant coach at Yank B grade, so enjoyed that too. But stepped into the women's side, and I love it. It's, the girls always want to learn, always asking for feedback and wanting to improve. So really
got an appetite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're the senior coach at Wollonga for the women's A grade.
Yeah.
And they're on top of the table and going pretty well. Tell us about a couple of players to watch out for, mate.
Yeah, I think we're probably at the top because we are such a great team. I think we have a good mix all through over the ground. But I think if I was to name a couple, I suppose Tamara Page, who ended up being the leading goal kicker on the weekend for Southern District. She's in super form. She can play anywhere, so really impressed with her. And then Caitlin Radbone, I think she's played 50 games now, so she's well and truly one of our veterans, but still really young. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they go towards the end of the year.
So there's one girl that I'm quite interested in who's kicked a bag of goals in the last 3 games, and she's played under 17s and A grade. Her name's Shea Archbold. Tell us a bit about her.
Look, Shay's one of those that you just love to watch. Probably the best kick that I've seen in women's footy. I hope she doesn't get embarrassed by me saying that, but she's only 15, 16, played 17s and A grade last year, played in both our flags, and won the 17s medal last year, and then played this year at league footy, and really conducted herself really well. I think finished third in the goal kicking at league level, which is pretty amazing as a 16-year-old. So hopefully she sticks at it. She's got a huge future. It's just I love watching her play.
Yeah, just for the punters out there, she's played 3 games, I reckon, this season.
Yep.
She's kicked 14 goals in the under-17s, and she's kicked 14 goals when she stepped up and played the women's A grade. So a total of 28 goals in 3 games, playing for 2 teams is pretty outstanding. Yeah,
she's a natural forward. She knows where they are. She can kick them from anywhere. As I said, best kick I've seen. Pretty handy to have, I must admit.
That's a wrap, isn't it? Now, mate, what do you enjoy outside of football? Tell us a bit about what you indulge in and what you do.
Look, family time's important. Obviously, with football, I'm a bit of a footy nuffy, so if I'm not watching it, I'm listening to it or studying it, even just personal development for myself with coaching to try and get better. So, family time becomes important. I've got a 5-year-old daughter, and another reason you get into women's footy is that one day, hopefully, might not be footy, but provide that pathway for women's sport. It's a real challenge for me, I guess, to decide what sport she wants to go to, because she's pretty handy already. She loves her gymnastics, so family time's a big one. And then I do love my gardening when I get a chance. I love the challenge of trying to get the most perfect lawn. It doesn't happen that way, of course, but that's something that I love doing. And other than that, I've started a side business, which is going to be one-on-one coaching. So I'm going to do that towards the end of the year once footy commitments wrap up. So something I'm passionate about, for improving skills and fundamentals.
Well, the way you're going, Wade, you might get called to one of the AFLW clubs, which is over the summer, and you might not be able to do what you want to do.
Yeah, I think I'm a fair way off that. That's definitely the end game. I definitely want a career in football somewhere, but that's for the powers to be to decide. I'm quite happy where I am, I think we're building something pretty special at Wollonga, and I'm certainly not looking to go anywhere else just yet.
So, look, I've got a template of questions, and this question's probably going to be a bit silly, but what's your favourite football moment?
Premierships are always pretty special. I played in one junior one at Happy Valley and a senior C grade one, which I suppose to some people may not seem much, but when it's the only one you've won as seniors, it's pretty special, something you always remember. I suppose from a coaching perspective, winning one as a coach compared to a player is completely different, and you can't separate them. But that's definitely something that I'm very proud of. And then seeing the girls that we've coached push up into sample level, and hopefully one day in the not too distant future, there might be a couple in the AFLW as well. So that's where I get the kicks out of football.
So who do you support in the AFL or the AFLW? Doesn't matter, both, or?
I probably don't have a team. I'm the old cliche, football's a real winner, but yes, probably the Crows if I did have to pick. If the wife had her way, it'd be Port Power. So that's always interesting. They're both not going too well at the moment. So we could save the arguments for showdowns for a little while.
Couple of spare TVs at home, mate, so you can go into separate rooms.
Yeah, that's right. But to their credit, Port are playing a little bit better brand of footy at the moment too. So
and they'll be up and about with one of your namesakes playing at the Power for the women's side.
Yes,
Erin.
Yes, that's a good get. I think Port will be definitely the surprise packet. You obviously expect with a name like that they're going to perform, but bringing Houghton in and some others from other clubs, I think they'll challenge very quickly. So,
who is your all-time favourite player in the AFL or the AFLW? I mean, the AFLW's only been going for a while, but there's still some pretty handy players that have been playing. So, yeah, tell us who your all-time favourite player may be.
Yeah, I sort of grew up in my formative years in the 90s, so I certainly loved 90s football. It was open and loved the key forwards. So Gary Uppbeat Senior was actually my idol growing up. Had his Guernsey. I've got one behind me on the wall, actually. Loved watching him, and then obviously Wayne Carey. So I think that was the glory days of footy.
Two of the forwards, mate.
Yeah, it's which is funny considering I played most of my life at fullback. So probably glad I didn't get to play on any of those sort of types. Although there was a few that in my time I got a few bags kicked on me, so it's never fun. But in terms of the AFLW, you got to love Chelsea Randall. The way she just has no regard for her body, and just wins the hard ball.
Yeah, good to watch. Right, well, they're the questions that I've got. We'll go on and do this quiz that we've been doing with our past 4 or 5 guests.
Yep.
There's only 5 questions, and I've taken them from the AFLW for you, so you may just cruise through this way.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out. I definitely watch a lot of AFLW. I love the tactics in Summit, so...
It's a bit of a multi-choice, and we'll tally up the answers at the end. But the first question is, how many fans flocked to the first ever AFLW game between Carlton and Collingwood in 2017? Now, I'll give you the figures. One's 33,000, 18,000, 12,000 or 24,000.
I know it was a lockout. There was people outside the gate that couldn't get in, so I'm going to say 24.
All right, so question 2. What number does Melbourne captain Daisy Pearce wear? 31, 11, 2 or 6?
That's a good one. I think she wears number 6.
Question 3. Who claimed the 2021 AFLW wooden spoon? West Coast, Geelong, Gold Coast or St Kilda?
I believe that was West Coast.
Who is the only player to win the AFLW Leading Goal Kicker Award twice? Caitlin Greiser, Stevie Lee Thompson, Brooke Lockland or Darcy Vesio?
Wow. You'd think I'd know that being loving the forwards. I'll have to go with Darcy Vesio.
And the last one, Adelaide won the inaugural AFLW Premiership. Who did they defeat in the grand final? Western Bulldogs, Brisbane, Melbourne or Collingwood?
They knocked off Brisbane in that first one, and unfortunately they got their returns last year, but made up for it this year, which was good.
Look, mate, you've done pretty well. I reckon you've got 4 out of 5. So you're at the top of the leaderboard with a couple of pretty handy people. One's Gianni Petrucci from McLaren.
Yep, he knows his
and the other one is Dennis Rice,
Yep, very
the
good.
umpires. So, look, the first one, 24,568. It was a lockout. Daisy Pearce wears number 6.
Good.
Who claimed the 2021 AFLW wooden spoon? Well, I think it was Gold Coast.
Okay.
You can correct me on that if someone wants to do some research, but I actually got these questions off the net, so I'm hoping they're right. Darcy Vescio is the one that's kicked the 2-time goal kicker award, and Brisbane. And you're right, they came back out and fixed up the Crows the year after, I reckon.
Yep.
Yeah, so 4 out of 5 is pretty good. So we might have to get in for a bit of a quiz off at some stage towards the end of the year.
Very good. Well, hopefully I'll have the advantage with the AFLW questions.
Yeah, well, I might mix it up. Look, congratulations on everything that you're doing with women's footy and what you've done, especially last weekend. I think that is now going to make women's footy in the Fleurieu and in the GSFL go gung-ho, mate.
That's certainly what we're hoping. We will always promote women's footy, and we need the clubs to keep getting around it and keep promoting it, and make the league stronger and stronger as we go.
So good luck with Wollonga.
Thank you.
And I'll be keeping my eye on the results, and especially with what's going on with Shea Archbold, to see if you can keep kicking the goals and maybe hit the front before the end of the year.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a wager going on between her and Gummo, so there might not be much handballing going on. I don't know. They both want to win it, so I guess we'll find out at the end of the weekend.
Good on you, Wade. It's a real pleasure for you to come on Fleurieu Footy Podcast, and I hope we chat again towards the end of the year, mate.
Beauty, thanks for having me.
Let's have a look at the results from the weekend for the SA Country Championships for men and women. Let's have a look at the men's results for the Country Championships over the 2 days. On Saturday in Game 1, Eyre Peninsula 6-556 defeated Southern Districts 3-321. And then in Game 2, the final score saw Southern Districts 3-421 defeat Northern 2-517 in a pretty tight tussle there. And then on Sunday in Game 3, the final score saw Northern 10-1171 defeat Southern Districts 7-547. So the men finished 6 out of 6. Let's have a look at the Southern Districts women's results for the SA Country Championships over the 2 days. On Saturday, Game 1, Southern Districts 2-517 defeated Eyre Peninsula 1 point. And in Game 2, Southern Districts 4-428 defeated Northern 1-410. So they won both their games on the Saturday, which then put them into the grand final on the Sunday. And Southern District 7-244 defeated Southeast 3-523, and they became the SA Country Football Champions. So congratulations to everybody involved in the Southern District Zone side. It's time for this week's Plug a Local Business. This week's business is Back and Sides Barbershops, located at Hutchinson Street, Goolwa, Victoria Street, Victor Harbour, Aldinga Shopping Centre, the Unisex and Colour Room, and the Victor Harbour Central Shopping Centre with the Unisex and Colour Room. They are family-friendly, customer-based barbershops with lots to keep adults and kids entertained. They're open Monday through to Saturday. Contact Chris and his team, send them a message via Facebook or contact them via their Facebook page or send them an SMS on their details on their Facebook pages, or email kazchris9@yahoo.com.au. Question of the week. How do we select our best possible players to represent the GSFL in association representative football? Please comment on our Facebook page or send us an email, fleurieu@gmail.com.
Don't stop. Watch out now.